5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
And it's live.
This is Leicester Till I Die TV. Watch and subscribe on YouTube and listen on your podcast platform.
Hello, good afternoon, good evening, good day, wherever you are in the world, that's got to apply to you. How are we doing? Oh, I'm doing fine personally, but on a football fan level, it's not been great, has it? A draw and a defeat for the Foxes since the return of proper football after that tedious international break. Wasn't even for a qualifier to make it worse. It was just a kick around on the park with players that he already knows. But the Lions' Den is where we are going to on Saturday. Anyone nervous? Millwall are in red hot form. Now, our guest is having some technical issues at the moment. He has popped in and out backstage, but I think we're having some technical issues with him. So I thought I'd just go live and get your guys' opinions of it. It's Millwall, why he just sorts that out. I mean, it's going to be tough, isn't it? Big question. Is Marty all that and no actions? Because he keeps talking about Page. He keeps talking about Nelson. And we keep getting midfield mistakes. And we keep getting the same garbage defence. And nothing changes. Week in, week out, they're on the border, they're looking for minutes. Well, is it hide and seek, Marty? Because I don't know how you're not playing them. 1 point out of a possible 3. I think someone said it's something ridiculous like 7 points out of a possible 21 or something ridiculous like that. Is it now the time where we're looking through the curtain of Marty and seeing that he's just like other managers? He gives it all that to give the fans what they want to hear, but actions aren't providing. He did mention injuries. Why the same 11 then? If that's the case, why the same 11? Millwall's going to be interesting. I know Kate did a show with Chris earlier today. She gave her lineup. Do you want to jump in then, Chris, if that's the case? Just give someone to talk to for the moment, because he popped in and nothing was working. It's one of them. Did you see the show? Maybe you agree with a lineup. Did you disagree? What changes would you guys make? This run needs to come to an end. Currently outside of the playoffs. Who would you drop? I mean, personally for me, yeah, that's fine, Chris. We haven't got all the rubbish of Millwall to talk about, so we'll just talk about quickly and then... you can try and answer the Millwall questions if you want for the quiz, but I don't think you'll do very well. Yeah, I mean, for me, personally, Wout Fade. No, thank you. Chowdhury, play him in midfield or tell him just to stick it right back. Don't ask him to play inverted. Can't do it. Vestergaard. Now, I like Vestergaard, but if we're going to play high line, he's not your answer. He's got less pace than he's got of his age. If he was a moving vehicle, he'd be doing a 20 and a 60 zone. He's a hazard to the rest around him, all right? I like Vestergaard. I think if you go in 3 at the back, you can have him in there. But again, got to change. Luke Thomas. Ben Chilwell in disguise. We don't need that against Millwall. We all remember the throw-in that he crapped his pants at taking. That'll be the same with Luke Thomas with his long throws. we need Victor Christensen. That's a sentence you never thought you'd hear Leicester fans be saying, but I know I'm not the only one. Victor Christensen, Harry Winks, first half good, second half bad. His whole performance was generally ugly. The strikers, God, that's a headache in its own right. Monger on the left, Stefan Mavinidi, they need support down that left-hand side, don't they? I think you need a midfield of James. I can't believe I'm saying this. I know he's not everybody's cup of tea, but it's either Winks or Samare, because if we have to go with Ollie Skip, we might as well start with 10 men, trust me. And Aaron Ramsey. And these guys need to be playing 90 minutes, not 55 minutes. Good job, well done. It's all their fault if it goes wrong. No, they should be playing. They're professional footballers. They're young lads as well, the likes of Ramsey and that. So they need to be in this squad. That's the changes I'd make. I didn't see no effing Samari, says Chris. I don't think he likes him. Tell us how you really feel, Chris. In fact, Chris, give us your best Millwall accent. Come on down. Chris, you're on. The price is wrong because this has all gone wrong again.
Hello, I'm a Millwall fan.
Yeah, okay, God,
I'm going to piss you about that. I have done before. Fuck Millwall, that's what I say.
Never trust. The thing is, right, he did pop in, but he had no mic connected or anything. So I don't know if he's just not very tech savvy.
No, they're doing their own show, and somebody was supposed to be coming home apparently to so that he could come on here, and then like I say, for the second year running, he did this to us last year.
Maybe you just push upon your Millwall homework, and next year, if we're still in the Championship, which is looking likely early doors, isn't it, Chris? You can pretend to be the Millwall guest and answer the questions that I definitely didn't work hard to find out.
I always say, and we've got to say, condolences to Sheffield Wednesday fans.
Yes.
There, but for the grace of God, goes a lot of us. But oh God, I wish Millwall would go out of business.
Well, yeah, they're a side that I've seen posts about the start of the season, and I've joked for a while now. Millwall finish 8th. We know exactly where they're going to finish. You know, when people say, we all do prediction shows. Some of us are better than others at predicting results. I won't say who. And some of us like to try and predict league tables. And there's always that mocking one, isn't it, where they go, "Don't try and predict it. It's really blah blah blah." And then they've put like someone funny at the bottom, like Man U if it's a Premier League one. Well, you might as well just have the Championship, the same exact thing, but in 8th, just have Millwall, because I guarantee you that's where they will finish. It's where they finished last season, albeit 2 points off the playoffs.
That said, though, mate, I don't think the Millwall fan would have suggested playing, or he may well have suggested playing Samare. Did you really say you would have Samare in the team?
It's limited options, mate, unless you're going to put Page in there, which I don't know if that's his natural position.
I'll tell you what you should do, and this was why I gave the team performance against Hull a 2. It was awful. It was the most rude match that we have seen since Rude left. And I gave Marty a rating of 2 out of 10 for that match. The whole blame sits on his shoulders. Let me finish.
Oh, sorry, I thought we were finished. Go on.
Sorry, no, it's all right, sir. I'm going to have a Brad moment here.
Oh, you ran away.
Come back in half an hour. When we may well have had to be a bit careful with Ramsey. He's coming back from injury. And Burnley may have said, like Marty said to the Ghanaian manager, be nice, be nice for us, look after him. So he may not. But you put your best team out for the first 45, not the second 45, because you're always playing catch-up. And if you're playing catch-up, there's no guarantee you're going to win.
Yeah.
Putting James in that position was never going to work, because we've done that before. James needs to be next to Harry Winks, right? And then what does he do to make things even fucking worse? When he brings James on, he keeps Samare on and takes James off. Samare is And unfortunately, the bad news is he doesn't leave next summer. I think he leaves the summer after, or does he leave next year? No, he does leave. He does leave next year. Good. You put your best team out to start with. Well, if that had have happened, and then Aaron Ramsey been saying, well, you know what, he's feeling it a little bit. Take him off at half time, and yes, stick Louis Page on. But where's all the youngsters gone to? They've all disappeared up Martis if you went his backside. They are nowhere to be seen. Yes, he's playing Monga. He's only playing Monga because we would go absolute. We would be around there with pitchforks if he didn't pick Monga. Be like when they attacked the Notre Dame because of the Hunchback. Yeah, so he's got to pick Monga. We've got one youth player on that. We had Skip on the fucking bench against Hull. Why?
Some say we don't work well together.
Exactly. But, and I'm sorry, that whole thing was down. Now, I'm not saying Marty should be sacked, but as Armchair said there, he is going to have to watch it. The natives are getting restless, as they say. Sumare, he is, I don't know, how long's he been here? He's fucking shit. Get him out. Put James in that position as long as he's not injured. And then if Ramsey can't play in 90 minutes, bring Page on into that position because that's his position. Don't move James up front where the benefit you're getting by keeping James on the pitch is negated by the fact that that's not his best position.
No, James is to
and
us.
Reed.
Yes, hold on, Chris. I've run out of books to read, and by books I mean games that I was reading about. So thanks. I 100% agree with you with James. He is to James. James is to Ramsey what Tillemans was to Maddison. Madders used to get in the space which worried the back line and midfield of opposition, so they'd concentrate on him and Barnes on the left and whoever we had on the right, because if you say Perez, I'm going to punch you. Whoever it was on the right. And that allowed Tillemans the freedom of at least the first half of our opposition end. So we ran into their space and got in the half. And then that meant all of a sudden, like a fish to bait, they went towards Tillemans, realising he had the ball and was going to shoot and what he could do with it. And then he laid it off to Maddison in space or played it through to Vardy to score. He can't do that because we've got three strikers and all know what the fucking net looks like. But you know what I mean, Chris? We saw that against Portsmouth for 45 minutes. And I know you say Rude-esque, and I know, that's maybe a little bit of dash of truth in that, but there's a little bit of pot stirring.
No, there's a full pint glass of truth.
There's a full pint glass in it, going back to the Rude comment. But you're not wrong, Chris. I'm going to take you back, and I don't want to have to do this to you, but I'm going to take you back to the July of last year, when we appointed a ex-Nottingham Forest manager that wasn't Martin O'Neill. And his name was Steve Cooper. And he lasted, I believe, 12 games, did he not? He was only 12 games. Up until the last 2 or 3, when it really felt like the rails were coming off a little bit, and maybe someone was going around Chinese whispers that he was going to get sacked anyway, and that's why they downed tools quicker than Bob the Builder on a Friday, trying to get away from Wendy. What was the one thing do you remember from them post matches, apart from depression and defeat, more times than not? I know we got a few points in that first 10 or so games, but I gave us a little bit of a nickname, didn't I, Chris? Do you remember it at all? It was one half FC. We played for 45 minutes really well, and the other half was dross. Here we are 14 months or 15 months later, Chris. Still one half good, one half dross. And we swapped it around, Chris. You wag your finger at me, but we were crap against Sheffield Wednesday for one half. We improved in the second half and won that game. We were crap against Preston and then played better in the second half, and still we lost that game, though. We were diabolical against Hull, and deservedly 2 could have been 4-0 down, and then managed to get a goal that ended up being a consolation in the second half because we were all over them like a rash. Wrexham, the same. Portsmouth, the same. I can't even remember games we played this season because watching them feels like I get... Jose Mourinho once said, you pay a ticket to watch 90 minutes of football, and if you're lucky, you get 50 minutes. I feel like if you're a Leicester fan, you're spending £40, £50 on an entry fee, let alone anything else extra, Chris, and you're getting 45 minutes of football.
I will say in reply to that 2 things. First of all, the game against Hull was exactly 100 minutes long. The ball was in play. We saw 50 minutes worth of football. So you're spot on there. Absolutely spot on.
There you go.
With half of it. Look, the thing is, everybody was saying, well, we were so much better in the second half. Well, to a point, but we weren't that much better. Why did we suddenly become better? Because Hull stopped playing against us. They were 2-0 up. They had nothing to, they were in the lead. It was a case of, all right, Leicester, come at us then. Yeah. And when we went at them, all they did was hit us on the break. Had Ollie McBurney been playing in that game, we'd have lost it 3-4, 5-1. So we weren't a lot better in the second half. But because it was just that Preston eased off because they knew that it was a case of, we're 2-0 up. You come and score against us now, and wham, bam, we'll hit you on the break. And they did do that. So we didn't vastly improve in the second half. But like I say, you put your best team out. And I had a discussion with this earlier on Kate's show. You put your and she said she doesn't know why managers do this. If you think a player is only going to be 45 minutes, or he's coming back from an injury, so you only want to give him 45 minutes, but he's better than the other guy that would play that position, play him from the fucking start! We'll be 2-0 up. We'll be 2-0 up, and they've got to come at us, and we can probably hit them on the break and get a third.
Yeah, and this is the worrying thing, because this is a whole team that for many seasons, Chris, they have purple patches, but then throughout the majority of the season, they tend to fade off a little bit. We've played them in their good form spell. We're now playing a Millwall side who are 3rd currently in the Championship, I believe.
Yeah.
Well, they can't be 2nd, I know that much, because of the gap between... That's already building, by the way, between 2nd and 3rd and the rest.
Yeah. The to show.
We're playing a Millwall side that won't invite Leicester on if they go 2-3-0 up at home. They'll keep going to get 3 or 4. How do Leicester combat that, Chris? Because let's just put the worst case scenario out there. Millwall do to us what Hull did, and they come in at half time and they're 2-0 up. Hull panicked a little bit and got a bit eased with the result. And then I think I put a tweet out or a reply to a tweet saying that Hull nearly gave us the point themselves by what their tactic decision. This manager, Chris, Alex Neil, he's been around the Championship long enough. You've seen the teams they've beat, that they've held their own against higher opposition than where they were before this game as well. They're at home as well, Chris, which is a good thing for Leicester because I don't want to, but in a bit I'm going to have a little bit of a go at our home support, Chris. I didn't get the chance to in the game before to have a little bit of a go at our home fans. Keep your pitchforks his way. I think they'll understand why. But how do we combat it? Because if, like you say, he goes strong, or God forbid he goes Hull starting 11, we could be 2-0 down. How does he then chase the game? Because he can't go put in Oliver Skip and another centre-back on. Surely that's not going to be the right tactic. Well,
I'll tell you what he does then. I've got an answer for that.
Oh, I'm glad, because I asked you a question. So
First of all, you don't play Chowdhury. Yes, I know he's okay. He's the best, but maybe try a Luco there.
What, if Ricardo can't start? Or
yes,
do you not want Ricardo?
But obviously if Ricardo can start. And Ricardo was on the bench, right?
Yeah.
So why not start? Oh, you've gone. Why not start it?
Oh, well, if the Millwall man's disappeared, I might as well.
You don't start Thomas. You don't start Faze. So look, let me say, this is the team you should have started, for my mind, against Hull. Salarchik, you don't start Chowdhury, start Ricardo, start Akoli over Faze, and Christensen or Aluko over Thomas. Fucking put Samari. Bonfire night's coming up soon. We need if we need a guy, go and stick him on top of the bonfire. Put James back there. Fatawu, and if he's only going to play, well, he's going to play 45 minutes, so let's start with Ramsey. Or if not, Page. What the fuck is AU doing on the wing? He's never had a good game on the wing. If you're going to play him, you have to play him as the number 9, and he's not the best option there. And Daka's just gone now. Just go away, Daka, please. You're embarrassing. Nearly a year since he scored a goal.
I only tried to leave and missed the exit.
Yeah. Okay. Then let's say they. So I would have had. You probably where AU is. You probably have to put start Monga. I agree, which isn't necessarily the best, but you've then got options on the bench. So who would you have on the bench that could change things? Louis Page. Silko Thomas is the only player that's been on there. Ben Nelson or Wout Faes, because when Wout Faes comes on for the last 20 minutes, he was actually doing okay. We've got these players that we're giving contracts to. Sit them on the bench. All right, we may have lost anyway by then, but it's giving them 45 minutes run out. Because I don't know how good they are, but apparently what Marty does is plays them for 60 odd minutes. They have a bit of a bad game and we never see him again. What about Golding? What's happened to him?
Wow.
I still go, that was a bit of a con that we bought him just to make sure that we got some money off Chelsea for Enzo and KDH. But would you have played KDH in the number 10 role? If you've got to think about it, probably not. Probably not.
At an emergency, if we had deleted, I would have. But no, his natural position's in the middle.
Exactly. So you don't put James in there because that wasn't an emergency when you've got a Ramsey on the bench. Start with your best players, and then I tell you what, you put the youngsters on, and all right, they may not be brilliant, but what they'll do is they will come on and they will fight for their place. And I'm going to take you back, seeing as you took me back earlier, I'm going to take you back. Do you remember when we got beaten by Forest? Was it 4-0, 4-1 in the FA Cup?
Oh, 4-1, I think.
Yeah. The game before, we actually beat Watford.
Yes, we did.
In the FA Cup. And I think we had about 5 youngsters on the pitch at that time.
Mm-hmm.
And we beat Watford, who were a Premier League side. And we put the big names back out, and we lost to Forest, who were a Championship side. What they'll give you is they'll give you no fear, and they'll give you effort, and they'll give you pride, and they'll give you passion. You cannot use any of those words in any sentence that includes the words phase or Sumare.
Yeah, I understand that, and I'm with you to a point. I would look at contracts right now, okay? And to go off the top of my head, Winks, Samare, and Faze are the main 3 I know that don't have contracts at the end of the season. I could be wrong. Chris, you'll probably name me some more. But for argument's sake, I'm going to use that basis to try and pick my team with one exception, Ricardo Pereira, because that guy bleeds blue. He has done. He's a talent that even with his injuries has had, has always committed to the club. He's never even tried to get away from us despite a double relegation. And for me to take on Millwall, you want to take the young foxes to go and take to the Lions Den, as it should be called, the Lions Den. I don't know if you ever saw Dream Team of Harchester United and Dragon's Lair. I just think it's got a little bit of fictional joys to it as a name. It really should be called the Lions Den. They call it the Den. Why not? Come on, Millwall.
Those players, just out of interest, that are out of contract.
Go on.
Is I can't tell you because I don't know why it's not bringing it up. It's definitely Harry. I think it's Harry Winks, Samare, Pereira, and Daka.
Okay, and I'm pretty sure Phase is another one, is he
No,
not?
no. I checked late. I checked. Oh no, there it is. There it is. Hang on. Don't go. Wout Faze is with us until June 27.
Okay, so we've got another year.
As is Vestergaard.
Okay, so our centre-back pairs, we've still got another year left. They'll probably go this summer, and I'm going to add them in a little asterisk here as to why I'm making changes. The exception to this list is obviously Ricardo for the reasons I made. But to tackle Millwall, and maybe, Chris, maybe just going forward, and obviously the youngsters that I don't mention or players that you want to fill, that you could put these players on the bench by all means. My 11 would be Stolarczyk in goal, because he's improving, and he's only going to improve, Chris, if we've got to stick with him. He's a young goalkeeper.
Agree with you on that one.
I'll take his mistakes.
Just to say, Mickey, who is the Millwall fan, could well be joining us in a while.
Okay, that's fine. If he's available, he is. That's fine.
Yeah.
But I would go Ricardo as the right back. I'd have a Luco on the bench with Hamza. Okay, because Hamza can play two roles. I would go Akoli and Nelson as my centre back pairing with Faze Vestergaard as the backups to that. I would go Victor Christensen with Luke Thomas on there.
Oh, slow down! I'm writing this down.
I'd go Victor Christensen as my left back.
With Thomas on the bench.
With Thomas on the bench for him.
Yeah.
I would go James, and I would go. That's a tempter. Is he more of a forward man, Page, or is he more of a midfielder?
He's an attacking midfielder.
Okay. I'm then going to go for Harry Winks. I'm going to go Harry Winks because you need someone who's going to steady the ship if James goes forward. If you have Page there, but Page is obviously on the bench. The front three is Monga on the left, Fatawu. Actually, no. Silko Thomas on the right, because I'm sick of Fatawu just disappearing for 60 minutes on us. I want Silko Thomas on the right. I want Aaron Ramsey in that number 10 role. And with Aaron Ramsey being there, he's not got the height, he's not got the heading ability of Ayew, which is who you need on for Carranza to flick the ball onto, because you could play Carranza there for that option, but for pure pace and that. So my striker is Jake Evans.
Okay, so go through your bench a bit, because your bench you've got...
How many bench players have I got?
You've got Aluko.
Yeah.
Hamza.
Yeah.
You're going to have a goalkeeper in there, but I can't remember his name.
We'll put Begovic in there, sorry. Yeah, so there's Begovic.
Oh, well, Begovic, sorry, I forgot about him. You've got to have him in. Faze, Vestergaard, Thomas, and Page. So you've got you've got how many? You've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You've got 9 subs.
Fatawu obviously makes the bench.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So you're adding Fatawu on there.
And Carranza.
Okay.
I
like a lot of what you've done there.
Yeah.
But I'm going to change it round. I like Stolarczyk. I agree with that. You've got to look like a teacher. I've given you a red tick there. Look.
Oh.
Oh, yes. Ricardo agreed. Akoli agreed. Christensen agreed. Nelson, I don't agree. I'm sorry, for me, you've got to have Vestergaard there. He's our best defender. And we know what he does. We know what he brings. We know what he doesn't bring. Against Hull, we had so many balls over the top that were just, well, over the whole fucking pitch. I think they were passing them to whoever was sat in row A behind the whole goal. Faith could not do that at all. But I agree with a Coley. Coley was dropped because he was making mistakes. So how come Faze is still there?
Yeah, and I will add on this. If anyone says, "Where's your evidence to put a Cody in over Faze with what you've said about him making mistakes?" There wasn't a single defensive mistake when he was taken off and Cody was brought on. He actually won his headers. He didn't get beat by the bounce, Chris.
Yeah.
And he actually slide tackles and muscles players off the ball. One of the first Hull goal. What did Faze try and do? Which time, mate?
I agree. Faze is. I think his attitude's gone now to the point of, I'm here now.
Yeah, I'd contact the Belgian manager, and this would be me phone call to him. Hello, Mr. Belgian manager. Being as your tongue is so far up Faze's ass about moving Leicester, how about you find him a new fucking club? Yes.
Yeah. Look, he wasn't being picked by Marty because he was his head wasn't in the right place. When he came back, it looked like it was, but I think it's gone again. I think he's like, well, I'm here for another 2 years. I don't have to worry. I'd drop him. Nelson, I'd love to see Nelson in there, but you can't play Nelson with Vestergaard. They're too similar. And like I say, Vestergaard, I'm sorry, but he's our best defender at the moment.
Yeah, my argument for Nelson is purely probably based on the pace side of things. If we lose it in the middle or we've got that high line, Nelson's got more chance of recovering. Vestergaard has the brains to give away what you call a tactical yellow card, I guess. But my fear is when we've been caught out and you lay some of the blame at Vestergaard, 9 times out of 10, it's because he's done that. Hey, Mickey Finnegan's entered. He's here.
He is. Mickey, bear with me 2 minutes and then I'm going to go and you can take over from me. I'm just putting Brad in his place about the team. James and Winks, I would agree with. Ramsey, I would agree with. Thomas and Monger, I wouldn't. Thomas, you got to have Fatawu in there because he just may hit the one of his worldies again. And if he's fit, Mavadidi. And I would also have Karanga up front. But on my bench. Look, I'm going to have Bekovic, aren't I? I would have a Luca.
You have your love child third choice goalkeeper that you would so crying out.
I would have a Luco. I would have Faze. I would have Samari possibly on the bench, but that's asking an awful lot.
Whoa! Stop the press.
Hang on. I'm going to rush through because Mickey's waiting. I'm going to have Silko Thomas on the bench, Monger on the bench, Jake Evans on the bench, and I've got another 2, and I don't want to put Skip or Sumari in there, but I'm trying to think of who our other youngsters are.
You could say Leroy Jenkins. If you know, you know. You could just make up a name. And
I will have 2 youngsters in there. But look, bring Mickey in. I'm going to go. Have a good rest of the show. Thanks for popping on, Mickey. And I know you've had your own show to do. Brad, take it away.
I will do. Oh. As soon as I get my camera ready, it's my turn for technical difficulties. There we go. I'm back. I'm better than ever. Here he is. He's come to save the day. Yes, Chris, look away. Two better looking folk are about to be on the screen now. He's here. He's there. He's everywhere. It's Mickey. It's Mickey.
Hey. I normally get baldy. Well, so, yeah, no, that's right.
I thought I'd mix it.
No, that's fine. That's fine. Yeah, I do apologise to everyone. Sorry, we were doing live at the same time, and someone else was going to come on your show, and then unfortunately they've been delayed getting home. So yeah, we've just finished our live. We didn't really pronounce many of your team players because we didn't have a clue how to pronounce half of them. So it's bad enough we're trying to pronounce some of our players.
Some of us don't know how to pronounce ours either, mate. So don't worry about it. Chris just gets so confused. He calls our goalkeeper by a totally different goalkeeper. Hasn't played for us for about 5 years.
If you watch our show, you'll know that any trickiness in the name, I can't pronounce it. So I normally call people different names or make up nicknames. Like we've got Sacco, Sacco, and we just call him. His name's Derek, and we call him Del Boy. Or at first we were calling him Gary, from the Only Fools and Horses episode when he went to Calais. So because he comes from France, he's French, so we were just calling him Gary. So yeah.
I love the Only Fools and Horses reference because there's always one in the episode where Grandad goes, Del Boy always said one day reach the top. He also said Millwall will win the cup. So it is a good thing to have. I love
this year could be the year that we could terrify the life out of the Premier League brand.
Oh, is it going to be though? I mean, obviously, you've just done yours. I don't want to keep you too long tonight. So
no, you're all right. You're good. You're good.
You sure? Okay.
Yeah. Good.
Right. I'm going to get this out of the way now. Every time I've talked about Millwall and when it's come to the thing, we have a little chuckle because we don't like him anymore about the Ben Chilwell and the throwing situation. That was funny in the cup when you beat us. I always have a laugh that say you can't predict the championship, but you can always predict that Millwall will finish in 8th because it always just feels like that's where you seem to end up. And ironically, last season you finished 8th. Yeah. Obviously Alex Neil is a very prestigious manager in this division. Was that a good season from the Millwall fans, or was it a bit painful to still finish? Because you only finished 2 points out of the playoffs at the end, didn't you? But you were up there for a while, wasn't you? You was like 4th, 5th, 6th.
I think it weren't painful. I think it was just good considering that the previous season it looked as if we were going to be, we were fighting the relegation, and then the last part of the season when Neil Harris come in, we just suddenly got ourselves well out of it. I think realistically for Millwall fans, it's finishing in the championship and staying there for another season. And I think it's 8-9 seasons now we've been in the championship, which is great. Yeah, 8 seasons I think it is. And that's what's the most important, because I think going to League One gets you in all sorts of financial difficulties. And once you're there, it's a lot harder to get out than to stay in the championship. You can stay in the championship by win or lose a couple of games. Look at us so far this season. I mean, we're 3rd in the league, and we've not really won that many games, but we've won games and drawn games what matter, and that's kept us in there. And we're there and thereabouts. I mean, you've had a bit of a nightmare since Hull, and we sort of turned over a new page since we got, handed our asses to us from Coventry. So, it is what it is.
Yeah, I mean, minus Coventry and to a degree as well now, Middlesbrough, it's a bit daunting early doors that gap's starting to get 2 games or more behind in terms of needing them to drop points from. But it's very compact because before we played Hull, I think we were 3rd or 4th, where you are now. Yeah. And now we're 9th. And again, like you said, the end of last season, other results. I don't know exactly how it went to the last game of the season for you, but you were looking at thinking one more game or one better result a couple of weeks ago could have seen you had a shot at the playoffs. Is that the expectation now? Given a good start, do you feel you can just continue that momentum on, or is there always that niggle? Because like you said, I agree with a lot of people. The Championship's the most difficult division in all of England to get out of. I know the parachute payment clubs kind of tend to have a bit of a yo-yo time, but even they fade off. West Brom and Norwich were that club, 2 clubs for a while. They haven't been back in. Do you think this is it, Alex?
I think this season is the season. Well, I think this season is probably the season to do it. I mean, there's 4 clubs on parachute payments. And I think if there is any year or any season where it's fairly open and mixed, it's this season. If you look before the season started, people were expecting the clubs for the parachute payments, the clubs will come down. and potentially Wrexham and Birmingham were going to be, right up there and in the mix. And the early predictions probably haven't necessarily worked out, completely honest. But to be fair, most of the bookies and a lot of these, supercomputers were predicting that Millwall was going to be in that part of the table, where normally we are always predicted to be, 8th to 12th. I think it is factually the best start to a season we've had since 95-96 season. And I think that this is probably the best team and players we've had in a long time, probably ever, if honest. I mean, to have a few of our players who are proper ballers and have something about them, and the fact that we've sold players for big money, and reinvested that correctly rather than just taking it out and finding ourselves a little journeyman and putting them in. We've actually got, probably one of the youngest teams in the league and one of the most hungry teams in the league. And I think with Alex Neil, we're not talking about we need 40 points to be safe. We're just looking at just go out, stick to the game plan, win the game, and then we'll look at the next one. Win the game, and then we'll look at the next one. And I think the players are looking up rather than worrying about where they need to be. And I think that's where we are. But listen, we are everyone's guilty secret or guilty pleasure. Most people will always check the results against us. And I don't think there's probably a fan out there who wouldn't like to see Millwall in the Premiership just for one season. I don't think we want to be there for more than that, because I think it will sanitise the club, the ground, and I think it's going to be a heavy investment if we do get it. So I think the ground will probably need 15-20 million pounds worth of investment to bring it up to Premiership and their media profile. But how much fun would it see us going into the Prem for one season, and seeing us turn the library, what is the Premiership, on its head? Because you'll hear us every game, and we'd have sellouts every game.
Yeah, sadly, that is something that's missing from Leicester at the moment. And I said I was going to have a bit of not a pop. Like, I guess I am. I can't deny it. Call a spade a spade. We have a little bit of a dig at our home support. Now, I know notoriously away travelling fans are a lot more lively in the home support. It's just the nature of the beast, especially in a late night game. You go in there, if it's a long journey, you probably travel down the day before, you've got the day off work, the next day, whatever. You're having a few drinks. It's more about the experience than it is a week-to-week commitment like a season ticket holder. I also understand that when 27,000 Leicester fans are in a stadium, there are a variety of types of supporters, from, the elderly, the young children, from full-grown adults, and anywhere in between that mix. That's not a disrespect to anybody. That's the same for Millwall. That's the same for Huddersfield.
Yeah, I think what you've got to look at it, Brad, is the EFL are actively targeting overseas supporters.
Yeah.
And the problem is with that is that when you're targeting overseas supporters, is that they're, to the club, they're a better spend per head number. They come to the ground, they buy food, they buy drinks, they buy, 100, 200 pound in the club shop. They're there for one game, maybe they might not come back, but they spend a bundle of money. The likes of me and you, what go week in, week out, you might buy a shirt. Millwall's traditionally not really a scarf, so they don't buy loads of shirts. They're not going to be buying shirts every week. They're not going to be going into the food, because we know that most of the food stands are ponies, so we won't. We'll buy a few pints there with all these new fan areas. I mean, you guys coming tomorrow, you've got your own fan area where they do sell good burgers and food outside the ground, and they do booze. And we are probably one of the only clubs that serve booze all the way through the game. So we don't sort of sell it first half and you don't get it second half. They sell it all because it's revenue to the club. But as a whole, I think when you've got teams actively looking at overseas supporters and actively, for us, we are literally 3 minutes outside central London by train. So you're not necessarily going to get, you come from overseas and with a family or a few lads over here on holiday, you're not necessarily going to be able to get to a Premiership team. But the chances of you getting a ticket on the day at Millwall, and realistically, our tickets are what, 30 quid, 35 quid. So it's not expensive. You'll be able to just walk in and get a ticket, and that's where it is. So I think it's
Yeah.
going to probably get progressively worse going forward. But again, it could work in our favour that the more success we get, then we could end up forcing the tourists out, or as we call them in our show, you're sitting in my seat, people.
Yeah, exactly. And the biggest problem I have is not necessarily getting people through the door, or whether they're overseas, or it's like me and you, the ones that go to. Well, I'm not a season ticket holder myself, but I have been one before. So I know what it's like to go there and witness it and be there every week. And you don't spend as much when it's already cost you a fortune to get because you're prepaid for every home game. You're not, you're less inclined to spend anything. I hate our shirt with the sponsor back on it, so I'm not going to buy it. And I don't think it's right that they're charging exactly the same for the sponsor shirt as they are a non-sponsor shirt. I think it's ludicrous. First of all, that's another video.
I think football shirts as a whole are overpriced. Realistically, they're they're not the same shirts as what the players wear, even though they tell you they always are. And there's huge amounts of profit. And the problem is that it all depends on how good a negotiation your club is. They'll either receive a huge upfront fee and then a small level on each sale, or they won't get any from the sale and they just get a huge upfront fee, which then just goes into the coffers for this, that, and the other. I don't disagree with them having to sell merchandise, but listen, I think the secret is if you're going to sit there and sell merchandise to the fans, then you need to sell merchandise what is good and fans want to wear. Rather than it look like it's a 5-year-old on an iPad, rather than
that is very true. You kind of got to find that balance between bringing investment and money into the club and wanting what the fan base want. You ask anybody no matter what sport or what type of sport they follow, you've got to have, you can't have that disconnect with the fans and that. My biggest problem is though, we got 20,000 in against Portsmouth. Now, I know people saying, oh, yeah, but you're in your championship, it's not as lively. Bullshit. 2 seasons ago, we were in this division, and I know we were rocking, and I know we were a better side than we have now, but we created an atmosphere because we felt the relief of not losing and stinking the joint out every week. We got rid of some dead weight. We had a fresh look on things. We had an exciting manager, not too dissimilar to people's opinion of the one we've got now. And we came back after the international break where we'd gone on an unbeaten run. Admittedly, it was a lot of draws, but we got a win just for the international break. We're 1-0 up and controlling the game, and our fan base was like this.
Yeah.
I said I've got a Portsmouth supporter at work, and I was on Twitter actively defending Portsmouth fans that were getting slated for treating it like their FA Cup game. No, they were enjoying the game and actually enjoying their team's performance. Our home fans were absolutely rubbish. And I'm sick to death of it. That King Power used to be a place you feared to go because it was electric. And I know that was based on European nights and when we were really successful. But like I say, 2 seasons ago, when we were back down in the Championship, we made sure that ground was rocking, and now it's just gone. But anyway, we'll move on from the atmosphere. You've had a good start to the season. We actually met last time out in the Championship. And it was a bit of a mixed bag because we had an FA Cup and a league game where we beat you by the same score line. You obviously felt aggrieved because when we was on a downward spiral, Renzo, you beat us 1-0. Did you go to any of them 3 games? We had a few triple headers from that season. Did you go to any of them last season? And
I think it was at the home.
Was Alex Neil's one of his first games that 1-0 win in April? Was that maybe?
It was, I think. It was. No, when did he come in? He came in December, didn't he?
Oh, did he?
He came in December, and then I think he didn't really take charge fully until after Boxing Day. I think it might have been New Year's Day game.
He might have had the FA Cup game with us because that was the 6th of January. Did you feel his effect then in that game? Because we only just snuck past you 3-2. But was his effect in flow there, or were you still feeling the effects of the manager before?
No, I think it took Alex Neil a little while to get into it. To be fair, because I think we had quite a turbulent season. We had obviously on the previous season we had Gary Rowett, and then we had Joe Edwards, and then obviously we had Neil Harris, who sort of saved us a massive thing, and then we had a massive change during that close season. So we had obviously the loss of our chairman in the beginning of the last season, and then we had the loss of or the season before. Then our keeper sadly passed, and we had all of that, and then the manager swaps and everything else. And we had a mass change out with the MD or the CEO, head of recruitment, head of communications suddenly were gone, and new people brought in. So there's loads of turmoil, everything else. And I think, Alex Neil coming in, I think it just took a little bit to get used to. He obviously knew what he wanted to do. And I think it was just breathing that confidence into the players to be able to do what he wanted to do. A lot of the times, if you listen to a lot of the press conferences, a lot of the time he will sit there and say the players need to understand they are not that good at doing this. This is why we talk through, holding, run with the ball, set people up, rather than trying to lead out from the back, or they're not ballers as such. We need to do it this way, break teams down and do it, X, Y, Z, stick to the plan. Because sometimes when we don't and we play it, try to think that we're better than what we are, that's when the opposition gets us on a counter attack, and before you know it, they've scored and our heads go down and go. But over the last few games, that's sort of changing. I mean, since Coventry, it's sort of changing. Coventry again, we took it to Coventry, and Coventry just spanked us. Coventry are a good side, so they just they spanked us, and then since then we've gone on and won. The only teams we've lost against this season is Coventry, Middlesbrough, and Wrexham.
Yeah, and to be fair, given our state of play at the moment, and the fact that we suffer, and we jokingly say we suffer from draw pressure because we drew like 5 games in a row. I think we've now drawn 6 out of our last 7. It baffles me that how good Coventry have been and how easily they're sweeping teams aside that we managed to get a point out of them. They actually looked like a team that was set up to get a point off us. So yeah, it is what it is. You say about breaking teams down. Is that what Leicester then can expect from Millwall? What's the style of play? How do Millwall go about Leicester? Is it based on our form at the moment? How will
yeah, I think we got after. I think your confidence level. So I think realistically, we'll probably come out of the traps really hard and fast here, because I think your confidence is on the ground, and I think if we can get a goal in quick, then I think that will settle into our idea and how we want to play it, and then literally we can take control and go from there.
Yeah, well, I mean, if you do that, Hull were 2-0 up against us, and if you take the chances that they missed, you'll be 3 or 4-0 up at half time. Give me one player, and if you really can't, because some fans say it's a 2-player role sort of thing, but give us one player that Leicester fans should be going white as a ghost at if he's on the team sheet. Who's that standout player, head and shoulders above the rest? As is usually Fatwu, although in recent weeks I would say it's Jordan James. As long as we play him in the right position, it's Jordan James. Who's that one player that if Leicester fans see him on the team, they're going to be in for a rough afternoon?
I mean, you're going to be in for a rough afternoon tomorrow.
Well, yeah.
There'll be a few in there. I mean, Ballo is a young lad from Austria we've got on loan at the moment who is a absolute fucking baller. And then you've got Sacco, who's again, fantastic. The Serb is looking as if he's coming on form again. And the fact Femi Aziz, Femi Aziz will cause you problems because he's playing on the right side of the wing. That's his chosen position. And at the moment, he's just ripping through people for fun. So, yeah, unfortunately, you're probably coming in that all our players are coming back from injury and we're getting them back playing and they've had match time and they're coming in ready. We've changed the keeper from Bender, who we had on loan from Fulham, who would, give us no confidence whatsoever. And we've changed it to Max, who is an established keeper. And he and the back four absolutely trust each other to bits. Yeah, I think I predicted 3-0 One of my lads who done the show with, he predicted, I think 1-1 or 1-0. But yeah, I can see us causing you some issues tomorrow. It all depends on where we go in the back four, but if who we have on the right back. But
Yeah.
I think you're in trouble. I think we probably will beat you. I said 3-0, so yeah, good luck.
Well, I'll tell you what, we normally get that at the end, but are you confident in sticking with your 3-0?
Yeah, 100%.
Right, I'll write you down for that. We'll get that in now because you
And
want
also, if there's anyone who bet, I would probably put a bet on Cooper to score at any time.
Oh, there you go.
Normally, the odds on there is normally between 9 and 12 to 1. So yeah, he's not a good. He's a good little return sometimes.
Well, there you go, folks. Obviously, gamble responsibly for the fun. Stop. But if you want to bet, if you want to taint it or try and
bet. I don't bet. So that's what I'm saying. If people do bet, so yeah.
There's nothing wrong with a good old bet. Personally, I think our danger man is James. He scored a few goals recently. Again, he came to us a bit, needed a bit of match time. Obviously, he came in on deadline day, so he hadn't been playing too much. But since he's got the ball rolling, him and Ramsey have started to look like a real good unit. So, Jordan James. However, I don't see us scoring. And I don't know if it's just the last few results or the fact that we fade off. I call us 45-minute FC because we're fucking brilliant for one half and fucking shit for the next. And that's exactly...
we're a bit like that. Yeah. We're brilliant for the first half, and then because of the new regime where they're doing it, they're more there. And then if we can keep a clean sheet in the 15, 20 minutes of the second half, then it's great. But that's the time where it gets a bit worrying for us as supporters. Yeah. But no, I think it's literally purely because you're down on your luck. And I think we probably want to, we're up on our luck and we'll probably just try and grab that and go from there. But yeah, I think that's how it works.
Well, this is a strange thing because a few times this season, opposition fans have come on and they've gone, "Oh, my heart says 1-1, but I think you'll win 2-1 or something like that." And I think that comes from the stigma of being a relegated club that did it last season, 2 seasons ago. But we don't have that impetus again. I've actually gone the same score as you, and I've also gone for Millwall for that scoreline, not Leicester. I really do feel that maybe the side will start to the fan base will start to edge that percentage up on turning on Marty Cifuentes. What we like to do here, just to kind of bring the show into a fun, nice little end. You've already got the score predictions in. I like to do a little bit of a true or false quiz.
Okay, go on.
I'm going to give you a little bit of a quick quiz beforehand, though. Head-to-head record between Millwall. In all competitions, I thought we'd played each other a lot more than this. We've played 47 times. Just for fun, how many of them 47 games in all competitions do you think you've managed to beat us? There's no prizes, just prize.
I'll probably go, I reckon, at 47, I mean, I worked out earlier about 25, so I'd say you've won more. So I'll probably go, we probably only won, I don't know, maybe 12, 15.
15 is not a bad guess, but 18. Leicester have had 21 wins, 8 draws and 18. So it's pretty close between us as a team. That was the fun part. That was a little head-to-head thing. The only team I haven't been able to do that against was Wrexham because we played them like 4 times. Can't get excited to do that one. But I've got 5 true or false questions for you.
Yeah, go on in.
It's called Millwall or Millfall because I have a load of spare time on my hands. You can just say
that's fine.
You can just say true or false. They're fairly simple. For question 1, Millwall were formed in 1885.
100%. Yep, true. It's our 140-year anniversary this year, October the 4th.
See, they're not that bad, are they? Okay,
and we lost our first game about 5-0, I think it was. So yeah,
it's always a cursor, isn't it? I can't remember what we did for our 25th. I know we was in the championship. We probably lost ourselves. Okay, question 2. A foot in both camps. Barry Hales has played for both Leicester and Millwall.
He has played for Millwall. Did he play for Leicester?
That's what I'm asking you.
I don't know. I really don't know. I'm going to go true. Why not? Yeah, true. It wouldn't be on this show if it possibly wasn't true. So yeah, but I'm going to go true.
I like your logic. You had a 50-50 chance and you got it right. Yes. Barry Hales played for Leicester. I believe. What's his name? His name's left my head. I can't remember his name now. No, it's gone. I know. I can see the guy who signed him. He's brilliant. He's a right character. He was manager of Blackpool. What's his name?
Oh, Ian Holloway.
Ian Holloway. That was it. Oh my God, his name just.
He managed us as well.
Yeah, really. Yeah. See, his name just left me. I could not remember. But he signed him originally because he managed Plymouth. He brought him from Plymouth to us, and then I think
so. Probably he ended up getting him back to us. Was it Holloway there when he was there? I don't know. I think he might have been there before Holloway, but yeah.
Right then, question 3. They do get a bit harder than them ones. Although the foot in both codes, you may have cracked the code, so I might need to change it up next time.
Okay.
2 unique player. Yeah, there you go. In the 2004 FA Cup, your route to the final, Millwall were taken to one replay in round 5 by Tranmere Rovers.
True.
Are you sure?
Yes, 100%. If I wasn't true, we wouldn't have made it to the final, would we?
Now, are you sure? You're looking in true? Okay.
I'm looking in true. Final answer.
Remember, I can repeat the question if you want, just to make sure, but you're that confident you don't want me to repeat it.
So in the 2004 season, in the 2004 FA Cup.
FA Cup route to the final, Millwall were taken to a replay in round 5 by Tranmere Rovers.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's locked it in. He's going for it.
Yeah, because we had Tranmere and then we played them at the Den. Yeah, I'm going true.
You were taken to a replay by Tranmere, but it was in the quarterfinals. You played Burnley.
Was it? Oh, yeah. Round 5. Round 5's a quarterfinal, isn't it?
No, it's all changed. You played Sunderland in the semi-final, so the quarterfinals was the round before, and that's who you had the replay against was Tranmere.
So what's the quarterfinal? Round what? Round 4?
Round 6.
Round 6 is quarterfinal.
Yeah.
Okay.
So before Tranmere in round 5, you played Burnley, who you beat 1-0. Yeah. That's why I wanted to make sure that you heard the round right, because yes.
Yeah, no, that's fine. That's fine. So technically, I was right, but it was just the wrong round. So that's fine.
Yeah, I can't. I do give half a point, so I might give you one for that, just for being generous. Okay, I don't know how your feelings are on this. I'm pretty sure he's a Millwall legend. If you're going to swear at me for saying his name, I don't know why, but you might do. Well-known ex-Millwall manager Kenny Jackett, manager. His first managerial job was Swansea.
Was it Swansea? He was at Swansea, but was that his first managerial job?
I don't know. That's why I'm asking.
I don't know. I would. Part of me saying I don't know if it was because he was a full manager's job, is in like not any other manager. I mean.
According to my sources that are Wikipedia, he was a manager's role. This may or may not have been the only club before yourselves that came up.
Where else has he been? He's been at Leighton. There's been.
I don't believe it includes player managers either. So I don't think or it would have said.
He was at Swansea. He had a good career at Swansea. Now, was that his first managerial role? I'm going to go true. I'm going to go true because I don't think he actually managed Watford. I think then first, so he was youth. Yeah, I'm going to go true. Swansea, yeah, true. You'll lock it in. Final answer.
He's locked it in. He's stapled it. You said he didn't manage Watford, but he did. Between 96 and 97, so you were wrong. He did. He retired as a player at 28 at Watford in 1990, and then I believe he worked his way up once he got back into it after a bit of time out, and then got the manager's jumped to Swansea in a gap. He had a big gap between that Watford job and then going back out to Swansea. So I can appreciate you not getting that one right, to be honest with you.
Yeah,
That
he was a couple of us. He was assistant manager as well, wasn't he?
Yeah.
That's what threw me. He was an assistant under Holloway, actually. I think he was, when he at Watford. So that's what I thought there, because he would have been. He was an assistant with what's his name? The Watford legend. Jesus Christ, what's his name?
No,
I've done you now. Graham Taylor. That's the
Grant, yes. As soon as you said it, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah. Okay, go on then. What's your final question?
Final question.
I might as well get another one wrong.
Hey, you might not this one. Millwall moved to the Den in 1920.
No, that's false. It moved in 1910.
Oh, I don't even need to ask again. I'm not even going to throw the spanners on the works there. You are 100% correct, my friend.
And then we moved to the new ground in 1993. So yeah,
that's why I made sure it was the. Yeah, I thought the year would give it away, but I didn't want to throw any confusion.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
Brilliant. Well, do you want the good news or the bad news?
Bad news is I got 3 out of 5.
Well, that is the bad news. The good news is you joined third. The bad news is 3 out of 5 also puts you joint last. So it depends how you want to take it away.
There we go.
Situation.
I'm happy with that. Listen, I'll take that. So yeah. I'm fine with that. So
there's a few curveballs. I will have to work on that player in both camps question, because you did crack the code. You, by your logic of it's a bit unique, he must know that he played for Leicester, so he went for it.
Easy. That's it. But it's a good idea. I like that game. So yeah, I'm going to steal it. So yeah.
Yeah, by all means, take it as your own. I'm sure I've stolen it from many others. Yeah.
That's it. That's it.
Onto the preview, doesn't it? You know, it's all.
No, that's it. That's it. It's all good. It's all good. So yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're all good, Brad. But look,
Mickey,
no worries,
I appreciate the fact that you had to fit us in after doing your own.
No. Listen, I made a commitment, so I'm good with that. I mean, the one thing I would say is obviously, those of you who go to games who are, should we say, proper side of the football fans as such, not the scarfers that who've been around a little bit and maybe not misbehaved. Well, if you look at our Twitter feed, which is that Millwall Pod, or on our YouTube channel, you will see a short on there talking about a trial by Cheshire Police using smart water or smart spray at games, and obviously the risks around it. Yeah, basically they're trialing spray, and if there's disorder, they will just release spray into the crowd, and potentially you could get your collar felt later on, even if you've nothing to do with that. So check out the videos for a law firm who we always recommend, who looks after football fans. It's on our YouTube. It was on our show. And it's on our Twitter feeds. Have a look at the videos, see what yourself. It's not in our league yet, but normally when they trial something at a lower league, it does come in. They've done facial recognition at lower league first, and then brought it into the main leagues. And no doubt they would do this. And if anyone watches our show or knows us, we do protect football fans. We know that we are the most criminalised bunch of supporters in any sport in the UK. From different laws to affect us purely and whatnot. So yeah, and also just give our channel a sub. We're doing another show next week with a legal lawyer, and we go through some more details to make sure that we keep you safe at football. So yeah, it's not because we're Millwall fans. It's just I'm a strong fan protector, and I like to make sure that fans understand how penalised you can be at football.
Yeah, just quickly, Mickey, before I let you go, give your channel a shout out. I'm pretty sure Chris will put the link in the channel in the channel description. But just in case,
it's fairly easy. We're across every social media platform. You'll find us either at that Millwall Pod or that Millwall Podcast. We're on TikTok, we're on Instagram, we're on Twitter, we're on YouTube, we're on Twitter. Come and say hello, come and join us, and also, when we do the live shows, we have other fans in and whatnot. As long as you don't want to be a dick, most people sit in and comment and stuff like that. So we're pretty grown up. We're pretty, we're pretty there. We're not too precious. We are Millwall. We know who we are, and we just want to have a laugh and chat about football. That's it. Yeah, well, guys in the chat that have been great tonight. I know your comments come up on the screen. Thanks everybody for coming in. Go and check out Mickey's show with the guys that he works with over there. They've just done a podcast just before literally coming on to save the day over here. So please go and check it out, and do be respectful. You're really good on here, so don't
go and let us down on Mickey's channel. Go and show him a lot of love and support. Mickey, I would say all the best for tomorrow, but I'd be lying through my teeth and I ain't going to do that to you. So after tomorrow, I hope we beat you, get back on form, and hey, if we meet each other in the playoffs, it'd be a great story, wouldn't it?
Yeah, we're getting all man promotion, don't worry.
All right. Well, we'll see you the
We'll see you in an FA. We'll see you in an FA Cup game.
Yeah, we'll be your third round banana skin when you put out your reserves against us.
Yeah, maybe. But yeah, no, thanks for having us on, bro. Thanks, Chris, getting in touch. And latest we'll do it again soon. No worries. Speak to you later on.
Cheers.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Bye. There it was, guys. That was Mickey. Did a great job there. Better late than never. And a brilliant guest as well. So yeah, go and check out that Millwall podcast. The link in the description down below. Chris always adds it. So if you just go over there, just give some support. And then, as long as you're respectful, be a bit cheeky with them. Sounds like a lovely bloke. I'm sure they have a little bit of banter as long as you're very courteous about it. Make sure, if you are new and you have been watching it on Catch Up, that you've hit the subscribe button and you've turned the notifications on. Even if you're watching it a bit later on in life and you haven't joined us live, do hit the like button. It all helps. You know it does. So why not do it? There you go. And if you've been listening to it on your podcast, thank you for lending us your ears. I hope my voice isn't making you want to tear them off. Make sure you join us tomorrow because it is the game. I would say you're looking forward to it, but hopefully we can turn the form around. Can the Foxes maul the Lions, or are we throwing the Foxes to the Lions' den? Still think they should. They really should, shouldn't they? They really should. Find out tomorrow. Chris will be live. I believe it's 2:30, but you'll know for certain if you turn your notifications on and clicked all notifications as well, not just personalised. Make sure you've done that. Make sure you've hit the like button. And most important, and a little bit easy for me to say, and most importantly, I hope you have a great day. Come on, you Foxes. Let's get back to winning ways. I'll see you next time, guys. Have fun. Good night.
Thanks for watching. These videos are tremendous. You'd better like them too, or I'll be back.
This podcast is proud to be part of the TalkSport Fan Network. TalkSport. Powered by fans.
That will conclude this evening's entertainment.